I was sitting here thinking the other day about how clothing has changed throughout the years since just in my lifetime, let alone, even back before me. I remember when I was just a little girl, oh, 3, 4, 5 years old, mom and dad loved to dress me up in fancy little dresses and had crinoline petticoats and stuff, and all kinds of lacy, velvety, different things. And then when I started school, I remember mom liked to put hats on me to send me to school. And, I didn't know no different. I thought, that's the way it should be. Well, I get to school now, the other little girls wearing hats, and so I kind of stuck out like a sore thumb. And then one of the older girls, she's, I don't know, 5th or 6th grade, she got to abusing me about it, giving me a lot of grief and bullying me. I finally got mom to stop making me wear the hats to school. Looking back on it now, I wished I'd blacked that girl's eyes good for her and went on wearing my hats. But oh, back when I went to school, we weren't allowed to wear pants to school, let alone jeans. And we got so I think it was probably about junior or senior year of high school, we were allowed to wear dress slacks, but we never could wear jeans to school. And the styles were a lot different back then. They had go-go boots, and they were like a vinyl material, white knee-high go-go boots, and we wore knee socks. We wore saddle shoes. We had penny loafers. I made a lot of my clothes when I got up in high school. I loved to sew, and I'd even make my own patterns and design my own clothes. And when it hadn't have been for a home economics teacher that shouldn't have never been able to been around kids, I probably would have gone on and been a dress designer. But she was not conducive to my education nor my goals, and it was a big discouragement. So I went in a different direction. But yeah, bell-bottom pants, wide white leather belts, and we weren't allowed to wear crop tops to school. But a lot of the girls wore them after school to events and stuff. And it was a big deal to have a school jacket. I don't know if there's such a big deal anymore. I've not seen any of the kids around my neighborhood wearing them, but it was a big deal to have a school jacket, even if you weren't in the band or in athletics. You had school pride. And you dressed up to go to the school dances. You didn't just, throw on your jeans and stuff. You got dressed up. We had the homecoming dance, and we had, of course, the prom, and then we had the snowflake dance at Christmas time. And they tried to have some school functions for us so that we learned how to socialize properly instead of just all rolling around like a bunch of pigs in the mud. Get dressed up when you go out. And when we go to town to do the shopping, you sort of dressed up. I mean, you didn't think about going to town in your blue jeans. You put on a dress and you'd go to the store. They don't do that anymore. Lord have mercy. I've seen them wearing some of the awfulest things. Well, I think everybody's probably seen that Walmart show. The people at Walmart, Lord have mercy. Some of the people don't even own a mirror. And when I was growing up, my folks belonged to the Pentecostal church, and the Pentecostal people, they didn't think a woman should ever be in a pair of pants, ever. And we lived on a farm. And that wearing a skirt trying to do the farm chores was not very conducive. So Mom graduated me up to a pair of culottes because they didn't look quite as bad as a skirt going over a farm fence. But even then, it didn't leave a whole lot to the imagination. So they finally got so that they let me wear a pair of jeans to go out and do the farm chores. I guess they didn't like seeing my butt go over the fence. And and when I got out away from home, I started dressing like everybody else was dressing, wearing jeans and looking like other normal folks around. But now it's like anything goes. Anything that you pull out of the rag bag that looks like it's been slept in for 4 or 5 days, is sufficient to be able to go outside the house in. Nobody seems to dress up to go much of anywhere anymore, whether it's to a restaurant or to a concert or anything. I guess maybe for formal occasions. But even then, I mean, some of the things that people wear to funerals. I mean, used to, you dressed up to go to a funeral. You showed respect for people. And I don't seem to do that much anymore. They'll go to a funeral in jeans and a t-shirt. And I guess, just to show up is showing respect, because in a lot of cases, folks don't even get anybody to show up to funerals anymore. I think in most cases, they kind of dress up to go to a wedding. It depends on what kind of a wedding it is. If it's a church wedding, you dress up. Some of these weddings they have anywhere anymore, and they'll have them in a yard or in somebody's house, or just wherever, in a park or what have you. So yeah, I guess it's come as you are if you go to those things. But the dress up occasions, they're few and far between anymore. But yeah, I think probably back when I was a teenager, we had some style, we had some class. We knew how to dress, and we tried to stay up with the times and tried to look decent when we went out anywhere. Senior year of high school, I went to a vocational school for an office program, and you dressed in business attire. You show up in that class. There was no excuse for showing up in jeans. You was docked if you tried to come in there in anything less than business attire. The teacher said that, look, the object here is to teach you how to go out and get a good job and how to impress people. And you ain't going to impress nobody showing up in a pair of blue jeans. So if you're going to come in this class, you're going to dress just like you was dressing if you went out to get a job. I've worked in human resources departments and businesses, and I've seen some of the things that come in applying for a job. I'm thinking, good golly, I realize that you're probably out of work, but can't you clean up a little bit? Don't you have some clothes that ain't got no holes in them or something? Dress up decent enough to come in to put in an application for a job? Or are those the kind of people that you want to represent your company? But yeah, styles have changed over the days. Even hairdos have changed. My mother always had a beehive hairdo, where it was piled up on top of her head, had these curls all over in it, looked like a big old beehive. You don't see people wearing their hair like that no more. And boys used to wear their hair down over their ears, and some of them even down past their shoulders. Long hair was the big deal back then. I think the Beatles kind of brought that into play in the United States. Now they're lucky if they have any hair at all. And they used to, you didn't have no tattoos either. My goodness. Now it seems to be fashionable to have a tattoo, and at least one, if not your whole body, covered up in them. Lip piercings, multiple ear piercings, your nose pierced, eyebrows pierced. Worked with this one guy several years ago. He had all kinds of piercings in his face. He had these rings and looked like earrings, the stud earrings and stuff, and safety pins and all kinds of stuff shoved in his face. And I called him Fish Hook. And he asked me one day, he says, why do you call me Fish Hook? And I said, because all that metal in your face. I said, heck, I could tie a string to you and fling you in the creek, and I bet you I'd get a big one with you. All that metal hooked on your face. Fish you go to biting. And I'd pull you up with a dozen fish attached to you. And I teased him, I said, I bet you can't walk past a refrigerator. And he said, what do you mean? Do you think I'm fat? And I said, no, it's all that metal on your face and all them magnets on the refrigerator. Don't they draw you in? But yeah, styles sure have changed, man. Somebody like that had been drummed out of town, probably tarred and feathered back in my day. But now it's anything goes.